You think the speed of light is just a number, 299,792, 458 meters per second, a measurement constant, a fact in a textbook. But that number is not just telling you how fast light moves. It is telling you something far more disturbing. It is telling you that reality itself has a limit, and limits in physics are never arbitrary. They always reveal structure. To understand why this limit exists, we need to go back, not to Einstein. Earlier, much earlier, to a time when nobody knew the universe even had limits, to a time when speed itself seemed simple. If you throw a ball forward from a moving train, the ball moves faster than if you threw it while standing still. This seems obvious. Speeds add. This idea feels so natural that nobody questioned it for thousands of years. And it worked. It worked for falling objects. It worked for planets. It worked for everything people could measure. Then Newton came along. Newton looked at something nobody had fully understood before. The moon. The moon is not sitting still. It is moving sideways, constantly. And gravity is pulling it down. So why doesn't it crash into Earth? Newton realized something extraordinary. The moon is falling. It is falling toward Earth exactly like an apple falls from a tree. But it is moving sideways fast enough to keep missing the Earth. This is what an orbit really is. Continuous falling, forever missing the ground. This single insight unified the sky and the Earth. The same force that pulls an apple down holds the moon in orbit. The same law governs everything. For the first time, the universe became predictable. And prediction is the true test of understanding. Newton could calculate how fast the moon should fall toward Earth. And when he compared it with observation, it matched perfectly. This was not philosophy anymore. This was precision. This was power. But then something strange happened. Astronomers began carefully observing Jupiter's moons. They noticed something subtle. Sometimes the moons appeared slightly ahead of where they should be. Sometimes slightly behind. If Newton's laws were correct, this should not happen. At first, this looked like a failure. A crack in the foundation. But instead of abandoning Newton's law, a Danish astronomer named Ole Rømer made a radical proposal. He suggested something nobody had ever proven before. Light does not travel instantly. It takes time. Think about what this means. When you look at Jupiter, you are not seeing Jupiter now. You are seeing Jupiter in the past. Because the light needed time to reach you. When Jupiter is closer, light arrives sooner. When Jupiter is farther, light arrives later. The delay matched exactly what was observed. From this, Rømer calculated something astonishing. Light has a speed. For the first time in human history, the universe revealed that even light is not instantaneous. Even light obeys a limit. This discovery was not made by measuring light directly. It was discovered by trusting the structure of physical law. This is how deep understanding works. One truth reveals another. One law exposes the next layer of reality. And this is where things start to become uncomfortable. Because once you know light has a speed, a new question appears. A dangerous question. What happens if you chase light? Imagine you are in a spacecraft moving incredibly fast. You turn on a flashlight. Common sense tells you the light should move faster relative to an outside observer. Just like a thrown ball moves faster if you throw it from a moving vehicle. This is not speculation. This is how everything else behaves. But light refuses to obey this rule. No matter how fast you move, no matter how fast you chase it, you always measure the same speed. Exactly the same number. Not approximately. Exactly. This is not just surprising. This is impossible under the old understanding of reality. Because if speeds don't add, then something deeper must be wrong. Not wrong with the experiment. Wrong with reality itself. There are only two things that can adjust to keep light's speed constant. Space, or time, or both. This is the moment where reality begins to crack. Because if the speed of light is always the same for everyone, then space and time cannot be fixed. They must be flexible. They must adapt. They must change depending on motion. And that means the universe is not what it appears to be. The speed of light is not just telling you how fast something moves. It is telling you how reality is built. It is the first clue that space and time are not absolute. It is the first clue that the universe has a hidden structure. And once you see that structure, nothing will ever look the same again. At this point, you might think there must be some mistake. Maybe the measurement is wrong. Maybe the instruments are flawed. Maybe light only appears constant because of some illusion. But physicists tested it again and again. And again. Every time, the result was the same. The speed of light never changed. Not when the observer moved. Not when the source moved. Not under any condition. This created a crisis, because this single fact destroyed thousands of years of intuition. Everything in your daily experience tells you speeds add. If a car moves at 100 kilometers per hour, and you throw a ball forward at 20 kilometers per hour, the ball moves at 120 kilometers per hour relative to the ground. This is obvious. It feels unavoidable. But light refuses to follow this rule. And when reality refuses to follow your rules, you don't fix reality. You fix your understanding. In 1905, Einstein realized something radical. The speed of light is not changing. So something else must be changing instead, something you never suspected. Time itself, and space itself, not as metaphors, not as perceptions, physically, literally, real changes. To see why, imagine a simple clock, not a mechanical clock, a light clock. Picture two mirrors facing each other. A beam of light bounces between them. Each bounce is one tick. This is a perfect clock. Now imagine this clock sitting on a spaceship. From inside the spaceship, everything looks normal. The light goes straight up and down. Tick, tick, but now imagine watching that same spaceship from outside as it moves past you at high speed. From your perspective, the light is no longer moving straight up and down. It moves diagonally. Because while the light travels upward, the ship moves sideways. So the light follows a longer path. And here's the critical part. Light's speed cannot change. So, if the path is longer, the time must be longer. The tick takes more time. The clock runs slower. This is not an illusion. This is not a trick of perception. This is how reality actually behaves. Moving clocks run slower. This effect is called time dilation. And it is not small. At everyday speeds, it is tiny. Too small to notice. But as you approach the speed of light, it becomes enormous. At 90% the speed of light, time slows dramatically. At 99% it slows even more. At 99%, time nearly stops. From your perspective, everything feels normal. Your heart beats normally. Your thoughts flow normally. But to an outside observer, you are moving in slow motion. Your entire existence stretches. This is not science fiction. This is measured fact. Particles in accelerators experience this every day. Muons, tiny unstable particles, normally live for only a fraction of a second. But when they move near the speed of light, they live much longer. Not because something protected them, but because time itself slowed down for them. Time is not universal. It is personal. It depends on your motion. And space behaves the same way. Distances shrink. This is called length contraction. From your perspective, nothing changes. But from an outside observer's perspective, the distance in front of you compresses. This happens for one reason. To preserve the speed of light, the universe adjusts space and time to protect that constant. Think about how strange this is. You always thought space and time were the stage where events happen. But they are not the stage. They are part of the play. They are active, dynamic, flexible. They respond to motion. And there is something even deeper hiding here. You are always moving through space-time, even when you are standing still. Right now, sitting where you are moving forward in time at maximum speed. 1 second per second. You cannot stop it. You cannot slow it down. You cannot escape it. But when you start moving through space, some of that motion shifts away from time. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. There is a trade-off, a balance. And the speed of light is the absolute limit of that balance. At the speed of light, all motion goes into space. None is left for time. Time stops completely. This is why light does not experience time. From a photon's perspective, there is no journey, no waiting, no delay. It is emitted and absorbed instantly. Not because it travels infinitely fast, but because time does not pass for it. This is difficult to accept because it destroys your intuitive picture of reality. You imagine time as universal, a single flow that carries everything forward. But that is not true. Each object carries its own time, its own clock, its own path through space-time. And the faster it moves, the more its experience of time changes. Now we arrive at the true barrier. The reason nothing can reach the speed of light. It is not because of engineering limitations. It is not because engines are weak. It is because reality itself resists it. As you accelerate an object, something strange happens. Its inertia increases. It becomes harder to accelerate. Not gradually. Dramatically. The closer you get to the speed of light, the harder it becomes to go faster. This resistance grows without limit. To reach the speed of light would require infinite energy. Infinite? Not a large amount. Not an impractical amount. An impossible amount. This is not a technological problem. This is a structural feature of reality. The universe itself prevents massive objects from reaching that speed. Not by force, but by geometry. And this reveals the truth. The speed of light is not just the speed of light. It is the speed limit of spacetime itself. And once you understand why that limit exists, you realize something even more unsettling. The speed of light is not about light at all. It is about causality. It is about the structure of cause and effect. And that changes everything. By now, the speed of light no longer looks like just a number. It looks like a boundary, a wall built into reality itself. But to truly understand this wall, you need to stop thinking about light. Because light is not the important part. The important part is information, cause and effect. Imagine something happens right now. For example, a star explodes on the other side of the galaxy. When can that event affect you? Not instantly. The information must travel. And there is a maximum speed at which information can travel. That speed is the speed of light. This is not a coincidence. This is the deepest rule of spacetime. Nothing can influence anything else faster than this speed. Because if it could, cause and effect would break, and reality would lose its structure. To see why, imagine something could travel faster than light. it would create a paradox. From some perspectives, the effect would appear before the cause. You could receive a message before it was sent. You could see something happen before it actually happened. This is not just confusing, it is logically impossible. Cause must come before effect. This ordering is what makes reality consistent. The speed of light protects that order. It protects the structure of time itself. This is why the speed of light is not just about motion. It is about the flow of reality. It is the speed at which the present becomes the future. And this structure has been tested relentlessly, not in theory, in experiment. Every day, particle accelerators push particles closer and closer to the speed of light. They never reach it, no matter how much energy is added. The closer they get, the harder it becomes. Exactly as predicted, not approximately. Exactly. GPS satellites experience this effect constantly. They orbit Earth at high speed, and they are farther from Earth's gravity. Both motion and gravity affect time. Their clocks tick at a different rate than clocks on Earth. If scientists did not correct for this, GPS would fail within hours. Your phone would not know where you are. The fact that GPS works is proof that relativity is real. Not abstract, not philosophical, operational. Muons, created in Earth's upper atmosphere, provide another proof. They should decay long before reaching the ground. Their lifetime is too short, but they are moving near the speed of light. From our perspective, their time slows down. They live longer, long enough to reach Earth's surface. This is measured directly. Again and again, reality behaves exactly as relativity predicts. The speed of light remains absolute, unbreakable, not because something is enforcing it, but because it defines the structure of space-time itself. And here is the final shift in understanding. The speed of light is not really about light. It is about the geometry of reality. Space-time has a structure. Just like a surface can be flat or curved, space-time has its own geometry, and within that geometry, there is a maximum possible speed. Not imposed from outside, built in from the beginning. Light travels at that speed because it has no mass. Massless things naturally move at the maximum speed space-time allows. Massive objects cannot, because mass ties them to time. Mass anchors them, prevents them from escaping time completely. To reach the speed of light, an object with mass would have to stop moving through time entirely. That cannot happen, because existence itself requires movement through time. This is the ultimate barrier, not a physical wall, a geometric one. And this reveals something even deeper. You are always moving at the speed of light. Not through space, through space-time, Your motion is divided between space and time. When you sit still, all your motion goes into time. When you move through space, some motion shifts away from time. But the total remains constant. The speed of light is the conversion rate, the exchange rate between space and time. It is the bridge connecting them. This is why it appears everywhere in physics, not just in light, in energy, in mass, in causality, in the structure of the universe itself. It is not just a speed. It is a constant woven into existence. And this brings us back to the beginning. You thought the speed of light was just a number. It is not. It is the edge of causality, the boundary of influence, the limit of motion, the shape of spacetime. It defines what can happen and what cannot. Without it, reality would not have structure. Time would not have order. Cause would not lead to effect. The universe would not make sense. The speed of light is not preventing you from going faster. It is defining what it means for anything to move at all. It is not a restriction. It is the foundation. And the fact that we discovered, that we measured it, that we understood it, means something extraordinary. The universe is not beyond understanding. It follows rules. Deep, precise, beautiful rules. And by uncovering those rules, step by step, humanity learned something profound. Reality is stranger than intuition, stranger than imagination, but not beyond reason. And the speed of light is the key that revealed it.